guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my monthly reading stats. So this is for October 2018. If you guys have been watching my weekly reading updates, you'll know that October was not a good month for me reading-wise. I mean, I have these months. I didn't have a terrible reading month because I still read consistently, but I didn't enjoy a lot of the books I read, and it's going to seem kind of funny because I stopped a lot of books and I reverted to rereading, so that's always fun for me. So it was kind of a weird month. Looking at my stats, it looks like it was a perfect month, except the fact that you look at how little number of books I read that I completed and everything else I DNF'd or put aside. So here we go. We're just going to go through this. So question number 1 is how many books did I finish? I only finished 4 books. Now this is not including any of my rereads at this point. Oh, that'll come to another question. But only 4 books did I finish. How many were physical? 3 of them were physical, and 1 of them was an audiobook. I don't remember reading any graphic novels or manga this month. I didn't make any note of it, so if I did, I didn't mark it down, so I don't remember. 4 books were rereads. Yeah. So I read my rereads and I finished equal. That doesn't usually happen. Anyway, how many of the books that I finished were from my TBR this month? 2 of them were on my TBR. How many were from my shelves? 3 of them, and then 1 of them came from the library. Number 9 is how many are still on my currently reading. Okay, so oh, I've skipped a line. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the DNFs. So I missed this line. So DNFs, I had DNF 2 for sure, like they are gone. Never reading those. But I put 2 aside from Victober that 1, I knew I wasn't in the mood for it, so I put it aside because I liked it, but it just was not the time for it, and so I'll go back to that one. The other one is because I was so mad at it, I set it aside. And then the more I hear people talk about it, if I just go a little bit farther, it's supposed to change. So I have not technically DNF'd that one. So really I DNF'd 4 books altogether, but 2 of them, again, 1 of them I put aside just because I wasn't in the mood for it and I only read like 30 some pages. And then the other one I'm going to attempt one more time in December. Anyway, so going back to how many books I didn't, that I'm still currently reading, I still have those 2 that I put aside are technically still reading. So they're still on my currently reading list on Goodreads, and I'll get to them hopefully in December. We'll see. And then how many books were on my TBR that I didn't finish? It was all 4 of the other books that I had for Victober. So Victober was a washout for me. I did not complete any of them except for 1 book on audio. So that was kind of bad. So here's the bad number, and I knew this was coming, and you guys have seen my book hauls that just came out. You'll know how many books did I buy this month. Well, I thought it was 52, but I missed one in my counting, so it's 53. I bought 53 books this month. Yes, that was outrageous. I don't normally ever spend that much money on books, even though a lot of that was cheap. I mean, it still came up to a lot, but I meant, like, I don't get that volume of books for what money I spent, which is good because I went to the library book sales, but yeah, too many books coming in and not clearly. I only read 3 books that were on my TBR that were, that are actually physically. Anyway, so again, that's a focus, and next year is going to be reading my books. Number 11 is how many of those did I read of the 53 that I just bought? I only read 1 of them. Yeah, I didn't do so hot on that. So yeah, so I still have 52 books that, not all those 52 books though went to my TBR. So I don't have that as a mark on here because technically 5 or 6 of the ones I bought, maybe another one. There were either books I never owned myself, but I've read them before, or they replaced a book that I had that I wanted a different cover. Or they had a better edition than the one I have. So I didn't technically put 52 books on my TBR. Maybe closer to 46, but anyway. So how many pages did I read this month? I read 1,266 pages. Yes, Cooper. Sorry. So that wasn't really that great when you divide it by how many days in the month. My average was 40.8. So my personal goal for the last probably 10, 15 years, well, probably 15 years, has been that I want to read 50 pages a day on average. So when I'm below that, I'm kind of disappointed because I think 50 pages is kind of a low end goal for me, but there are months that I don't hit it. This is, I think, the second month this year I didn't hit it. Maybe it's the third month. I don't remember, but I go in waves. So like October just was not a good reading month for me page-wise because I do not count my rereads. So again, this is my own concept of what I count. I don't count graphic novels, manga, and I don't count anything I've reread that I've read in the last 10 years. Now, if it's over 10 years, then I get to count those pages again because it's technically kind of like a new read to me because I don't remember usually that closely if it's been over 10 years because I don't have that great of a memory, guys. So anyway, so 40.8 is not great for me. Like I kind of upsets me, but I know I reread a lot this month, so I know, or in October, so I know that that's where a lot of my page count could have been added if I was reading something new, but I wasn't in the mind space to do it due to a lot of things going on at that time. So I did what I had to do, and I was still reading, I was reading very comforting reads for me. So my star ratings look kind of skewed. So I show that I have 3 that were 4.5 to 5 stars. I have them all as 5 stars in Goodreads, but they're like pretty much 4.5 to 5. They were really close to 5. I mean, they were all really fun reads. I have one that was a 4. Yeah, it was just 4. It was good, but not great. And then one of the DNFs, I actually did star rate it because I got close to the end before I finally just gave up. So I gave that one a 2. I did not give it a 1 because it wasn't that bad in like the way it was written and stuff. It was just, anyway, you guys have heard me rant about the book before. Anyway, I'll mention it here in a second anyway, but I did count it. The genres that I read, and I'm counting as just the ones that I completed, just because, I mean, I guess I could add another category here. So of the ones that I completed, one was nonfiction, one was epic fantasy, one was urban fantasy, and one was a mystery. And then my rereads were mostly romance and urban fantasy. I think those are the 2 genres that I had covered in that one. So, but I didn't count those. Anyway, I'm getting kind of off track here. Sorry. So my favorite book of the month, I'm going to say it was Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. I just really enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. I started on vacation in September, and then I finished it in the first week of the month. And I still think it's really fun. I think it's, I can't wait to reread this one and Kings of the Wild probably in the future, because they're just fun rides, epic fantasy where the mercenaries are the rock stars of the world. And I just enjoyed it overall, and it went in ways I didn't expect it to, which I think was the great part of it. The story was not what I expected. Because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go after the last book. So, and it did make me cry. So I think that's definitely my favorite book that I read last month. My least favorite of the ones I finished or DNF'd. So technically at this point, both of these, one of them's a DNF, and the other one is one I put aside. So of course, Malice is the one that I gave a star rating to, that I got so far into it and then just could not do it. And again, I'm so disappointed that I did not love this book. I wanted to so bad get into a new epic fantasy series, and it just didn't work for me for various reasons. You can see my weekly updates from last month to see that. The other book that I was highly disappointed in is The Ten to Wellfell Hall by Anne Bronte, which was my Victober read. I was so excited to read this. I have been planning all year pretty much to read it because I didn't get to it since last October, or year ago, Victober, that I read Agnes Grey and really enjoyed that. So I wanted to read this, and again, I got to page 118 and I pretty much just stopped. And So what I hear is that the perspective is going to change here pretty soon, and I should really just push myself to get to that and then read the middle part at least. And I'm going to try. Anyway, so that's another thing. I'm just giving you a warning. That might pop up in my December TBR to try to complete that. We'll see what happens. And then just to show my reading vlogs, because I got to play with my pens this morning and got ink all over my hands, because that's what happens. So this is what so remember this reading vlog this log shows everything that I read that was new. Like, I do not count rereads on this either. I really have this thing against counting my rereads. I think it's just because I do it so much. I don't feel like a cheat. It's just I track it differently, I guess, is how I do it. So showing my reading, you can see this is all blank. So this is all when I was rereading. There were things going on in my life that I just could not handle a new book, and I gave up on Victober in this area and then just started reading other stuff. And this is my library book that I really loved. My Simon R. Green, which was almost the favorite book, but not quite. Anyway, so so you can see that I didn't read as much as I normally do. And then just for fun, here's the updated yearly one. So I've already put some in November in because I was playing with the pens today, so they got in there. But you can see, again, the whole blank, but you can see the little dots of all my rereading. Again, that's how I mark what day I've reread stuff. So, usually when I have spaces, it's usually because I'm rereading. But I do read still a lot of other stuff. So, and again, as I said, I got the two greens that were too close together, so it's not quite as colorful. So maybe next time I'll get another color. But it's fun. Anyway, so that is it. I've gone way too long on this, as always. Anyway, how was your guys' October's reading month? Looking at my numbers, I did not do very good, but I also know mentally that was just not going to happen. And then again, I had a couple fails on some stuff that I really expected to love and I did not. So that happens too, and it's kind of a little disappointing. But then the stuff that I did pick up, I loved. So there's give and takes. Anyway, so how was your guys' October? I hope you read more than I did. I don't know. It just, as I said, I still read a lot. It's just not as much as I was hoping. And Victober is so sad because I wanted to read so much stuff and I did not. So I'll probably try to put some of that Victober, those books that were on my TBR that I didn't get to sometime in the next couple months, just because I really still want to read them. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.